So Sheffield Wednesday then looking for their first points of the season. So too Wrexham after a near miss down at Southampton on the opening day, and then been beaten here at home by West Bromwich Albion last time around. So the match is rolling. Sheffield Wednesday in this first half here play as we look from left to right. Forward it's Palmer looping the ball into the penalty area. A stooping Ingleson made contact with the header. Plenty of cover in red at the back. Stepping forward onto the ball it's Max Lowe. It's a little sliced from in front of the centre circle, and it squirrels out of play for a throw-in.
What have you, but if they can pick up a couple of results on the road early doors, they might just, as you say, look at that as a way of going about the season. Yeah, well, we've had a touch over 9 minutes here, and if you're clinging on for any kind of positive, Wednesday have made a decent start in possession as Ike Ugbo in a slightly deeper role used those long levers to bring the ball under control. Here he is now back to goal, marked by Cleworth. Out it goes to the left-hand side, and the fizzing cross that was drilled in by Ingleson skimmed ahead. Now everybody's claiming that it went their way. I think the match officials think Liam Palmer got the final touch, and it skidded off his head and out of play for a throw-in. Liam Palmer's trotted down to the near side to have a word with the assistant referee before backpedaling away, and the match officials have given the decision to the home sides. Earlier, if you've been out and about, Rotherham and Wigan drew 2-2. Wigan equalising relatively late stage in the game, where Martin Sharif looked at the time as if he'd won the game on debut, the Everton loanee, but the Millers just couldn't see it through. Wrexham just continuing to enjoy a little bit of the ball. They're attacking towards the open end, the building site, which will soon become the newly built Cop End. So no goals then here. O'Brien from Nottingham Forest will stand over the ball. There's a decent line of red on the edge of the penalty area as the ball flies in. Iorfa's underneath it, and from the floor, swiping his giant leg behind the ball and past Ethan Horvath on debut, it's Kiefer Moore who gets the opening goal here at the racecourse ground. A free kick led to a scramble that led to a Kiefer Moore goal. It flew into the top left-hand corner, and it's Wrexham 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Yeah, we were just talking about the threat that Kiefer Moore offers. It's not our heel dreamt it, but for the ball to take a bounce there, could Wednesday have cleared that? Could more have been done? You'd have to think so. I think with Moore in the side, set pieces were always going to be a big play for Wrexham today. It was a great ball in from O'Brien. He's a player with serious quality.
And Coventry 1, Queen's Park Rangers 0. Football Heaven on BBC Radio Sheffield, and Wrexham are attacking through. Longman bending the ball in, it swirls from the right, and Kiefer Moore powered onto the header, but with plenty of uplift. He skied that header over Ethan Horvath's crossbar, but a big chance goes begging for Wrexham.
There's going to be a huge threat, I think, all afternoon. I've just managed to grab a second look at the goal. Just looks like he just ghosted in behind, just as the ball was being delivered by O'Brien, just ghosted in behind Iorfa, and from there, Iorfa was scrambling a bit to regain his position.
So a long throw in then again, this time considerably to the right of Henrik Pedersen's dugout. He's got good heft on that. Ingleson cleared away. Bannon with a header into the ground. It will bobble towards Palmer. Palmer shifts it back to the centre circle where Max Lowe will bring in Ingleson. Another deep cross. There's Palmer. The ball cannons off his head. Up to Iorfa. Shooting chance maybe for McNeil. And as he hit it right-footed, it swerved on the ground, took a big deflection, and out of play for a corner.
Yeah, Wednesday worked the ball well there. A couple of shooting opportunities in there. I think that's where they might just get the joy, when things are just a little bit scrambled. We've seen those long throws come in. It's fair to say that Wednesday have some big lads. Kiefer Moore's obviously the main man in terms of clearing the danger.
In the middle of a back three, and now James, who played a bit of football for Barnsley on loan earlier in his career. He was parented to Leicester City at the time, and now Brunt will cross the halfway line for Wrexham. Wednesday, if you've just flicked on the radio, had a spell of a couple of corners, and now Broadhead easing it on now towards Dobson, who takes aim. It stung the palms of Horvath, and it bobbled into the path of Kiefer Moore, who was deadly from close range. Sheffield Wednesday's new on-loan keeper couldn't hold it, and it fell to the completely wrong person as Kiefer Moore swiped it past him. Half an hour gone, Wrexham 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0, and alarm bells are ringing again.
Yeah, they certainly are. Horvath will not want to see that again. The ball just seemed to move in front of him, and he's parried it just in the path of Moore. But before that, I didn't see who took the shot. It might have been Broadhead. He was in so much space. Really, it looked like he was expecting to see a Wednesday defender up in his grill. It never came. Had the chance to make a requisite shot that, as I say, just appeared to move in front of Horvath.
By Dominic Iorfa will lead to a free kick, which is taken quickly. Here's Kabachki beaten off the ball by Longman. He was a bit too soft in the challenge there, the pole, and Longman drove out to in very well and got the shot away from the inside right channel of the box. Horvath is able to keep hold of this one, and it will be Sheffield Wednesday playing it out from the back. As Bannon, in a tight squeeze on halfway, will pump it forward. Bailey Cadamarteri took it well off his forehead, then brings it down to bring in McNeil. Palmer is away down the right-hand side. McNeil has made a diagonal run towards the corner flag. Slightly isolated temporarily, but he'll get it back to Palmer. So can Wednesday finish the half with some kind of flourish, even if that's with a small F, and it's helped on towards McNeil. McNeil on the right-hand side and crossing. In it comes Kabachki, who crushed the header over the crossbar, and he really should have done better.
Yeah, he should have done. He was unbalanced there in the end, I think. Was it Cleworth or Cody that just managed to make himself enough of a nuisance? But again, look, some decent little stuff from Wednesday. It was Palmer that put McNeil down here. McNeil did exceptionally well to hook the ball back to Palmer and keep the ball recycling through Wednesday players.
Brunt, Chris Brunt, Kenwyn Jones, Paul Heckingbottom. Wonder what happened to him. All names on the score sheets in the two games that season. Wrexham leading 2-0 here, and full of flight. George Dobson takes it on into the box, having beaten Matchlow. All ends up. Will then cut inside to try and drill a left-footed shot goal bound, but he was crowded out by two in blue and white, and it will be a throw-in.
Yeah, Jan Valery won't want to see that one again. That was very dangerous indeed. Barry Bannon did exceptionally well to get across.
Now Ingleson with a heavy first touch, slides into a 60-40 against, but he manages to keep the ball. This is better from Wednesday. Then Cadamarteri works it to Ugbo. A bit of a hack by Lewis O'Brien. The ball will bobble out to the far side of McNeil. Bannon sliding in. It comes to Ugbo, whose right-footed effort is sent corkscrewing behind there off Lewis Brunt, who lunged into block. But that's Wednesday's best attacking move of the half, possibly even the match.
Yeah, they moved it quite nicely through 3 or 4 different players there. Nice little nudge through to Ike Ugbo.
So here comes Bannon laying the corner along the deck to McNeil, who left-footed takes aim, crashing out. Dobson made the block. It comes to Bannon in swinger, and it's from the right-hand side, glanced off Cleworth on the edge of the box. It will be another corner as the clock ticks into the 54th minute.
Good little period this for Sheffield Wednesday again.
Much better.
Moving the ball nicely in the Wrexham half.
So Barnsley are trailing in our FM commentary at AFC Wimbledon by 1-0. The Blades a goal down at home to Millwall. Chesterfield pegged back at Harrogate 1-1, no goals. Bannon will bend in the corner, flicked away to the edge of the box. It's Nathan Broadhead who's shielding the ball, but it will come back to Bannon. The scoreline has now changed at Vale Park. There in a second. And as the ball came in, Ingleson battled off the ball. It will come out to the near side for a throw-in, who wipes some of the moisture off the ball. So expect another long throw-in here, with Bailey Cadamarteri lurking to the right of the penalty spot. The long Ingleson throw-in hurled into the penalty area. Brunt heads it to the edge of the box. There's Kabachki on to Ingleson, does ever so well. Will cross him from the dead ball line, and Ugbo with a little short turn and header. It cannoned off a Wrexham player, according to referee Farai Hallam. Lewis Brunt disagrees in strong terms, but the referee's having none of it. Wednesday get a corner.
Yeah, there must have been a little touch there. Ugbo managed to get himself in a good position at the front post, and it's Ingleson again. He's one of those players this season, isn't he?
Bent the ball in his direction, but he was tracked every step of the way by McLean. And here is McLean once again for Wrexham, 36 years old, yet still showing a neat turn of pace in a Wrexham team that isn't noted for being fast. My colleagues from Radio Wales were bemoaning that even the more recent signings lack pace. Bailey Cadamartri might be put in here, nudged out of the way, sweeps past McLean. Is someone going to take control of the ball? Ugbo shoots! And from just to the right of the penalty spot, Ugbo took aim, but goalkeeper Danny Ward stood up, took the catch above his head, and a goal is denied.
Yeah, well struck from Ugbo. Again, just one of those chances. He just won in that first loan spell when he was sharp as anything, everything that fell to him. Would he have been able to get that either side of the keeper? But it came to him quickly, didn't have a great deal of time. There were defenders around him, and well done again, Bailey Cadamartri. He's really scrapping his way in there, and again, that's an example of what we've seen with Bailey.
So here Bannon comes forward. Well, I'm usually, when the line drops, as it infrequently does, minded to say you haven't missed anything, but sadly you have. Barry Bannon has scored, and here he is scooping into the box. A header away by Lewis O'Brien. And look, Wednesday needed something, and they've got it. And here's Jan Valery helping the ball out to Liam Palmer over on the far side. In goes Palmer's cross. Ingleson rises. And in the goalmouth scramble, Clearwith helps it away, but Wednesday are on their uppers here thanks to Barry Bannon's goal from close range. Floated cross into the middle. It had a bit of bend as it fizzed through, just past a jumping Bailey Cadamartri, and it drops behind for a goal kick. But something in that moment of mutual appreciation for Sheffield Wednesday. Look, they're back in this game. Turk taking the ball on quite the semicircle run before feeding it infield to Bannon. Bannon has outlets down the left. One of them is Max Lowe. Here is Lowe. He picks out Kabachki. The triangle is completed as Bannon gets it back, and Kabachki's continued his running behind. Oh, he tried to just ease it right-footed past the keeper Ward. In the end, Wrexham struggling to clear. Ugbo will shoot. It's blocked at source. Ugbo again's trying to bulldoze his way through. He gets to the dead ball line. Wrexham only partially clear. Wrexham fans are starting to get nervous. Here comes Bannon just outside the box. Wide it goes to Palmer, who takes aim. And the fence behind the goal bulges rather than the Wrexham net. But Sheffield Wednesday are giving it everything. 2-1 down and trying to get back on terms.
Threatening all the time, just growing more and more into it. And there were a couple of opportunities there, weren't there, to pull the trigger. It looked like it was an oil slip of some sort. Ike Ugbo and Olaf Kabachki both slipping at just the wrong time. And obviously Liam Palmer just blazing over at the end there.
They can turn things around. Sheffield United are trailing at home to Millwall. Wednesday are 2-1 down, but back in this game as a contest. Doncaster Rovers are leading at Port Vale. And now here's Svante Ingleson on the charge, working the ball in from the left-hand side. Ugbo will drag a shot goal bound. Not for the first time today. Ugbo's got in positions. This time he was unmarked on the edge of the box, but the shot lacked power, and Danny Ward dropping made a comfortable save. As Sheffield Wednesday build down the right-hand side.
Can they fashion a moment? They've had several opportunities in the second half. So better news from Harrogate, thanks Paul, as Ingolson helps it on now to Lowe. Low infield to Bannon, good first touch into Kabachki, who uses his low centre of gravity to evade O'Brien. Now Jamal Lowe feeds it wide into McNeil, shooting chance, and Bailey Cadamartere makes it 2-2. What a finish from close range. A second half performance as valiant as they come. Sheffield Wednesday have dragged themselves back from a nightmare position at 2-0 down at half-time, and with 9 to go, it's 2-2 in North Wales.
It certainly is, and what a great finish. Well worked from Wednesday. There's a couple of opportunities there to shoot earlier. Jamal Lowe certainly had one, just found a pocket of space on the edge of the box, but kept his composure, pushed it out to Jan Valery. A very well-worked goal from Sheffield Wednesday, and all they deserve as Max Lowe gestures towards the away end. There's a togetherness about Sheffield Wednesday. What a result this would be.
Wednesday back from 2-0 down to level at 2-2, and McLean's on the overlap down the far side. In it comes the bouncing ball, cleared away by Kabachki. At half-time you thought Wednesday may well be hammered by Wrexham, but it's been anything but in the second half, and they deserve to be back on terms with a chance of winning the game. Dobson cutting the ball through towards Harding. Back to Dobson. Dobson will squeeze the ball through to O'Brien, who's unmarked. He keeps it moving wide to the left-hand side, and James McLean. McLean cuts in past one marker, in swinging cross. It might come out to Cleworth. They're all shouting shoot here for those in red and white, but the ball will come to Longman. Longman as Smith rises. Iorfa with the backward header, had to take control, and it goes behind for a Wrexham corner in the second minute of time to be added on.
Set piece late on. Sheffield Wednesday worked so hard to battle into this. They deserve a point out of this one for their second half performance.
Otek Bayo's there protecting the D on the edge of the box. Ingolson will try and crash past two in red, but now Wrexham come again. One last throw of the dice for their first win of the season, as we welcome listeners from AFC Wimbledon, as it will come to McLean here, edge of the box, turning past two in blue and white, crowded out by Max Lowe. Brilliant sliding challenge, and now the counter-attack is on. Four in blue and white come forward against two in red. Here's Bailey Cadamartere through to Fusair, off it comes here, shooting chance to bury it, and Charlie McNeil has fired the shot off the chest of the goalkeeper. Right at the end, Sheffield Wednesday blow the chance of 3 magnificent points as Charlie McNeil bore down to the right-hand side of the 18-yard box. Danny Ward stood his ground, the shot crashed off his chest, and the referee calls for full time. Goodness gracious me, what a valiant day, what a memorable day for many reasons, football and all. But Sheffield Wednesday staged a stirring comeback. The odds may well always be stacked against them, but that was something else in the second 45 minutes.
It certainly was. The step up in quality individually, as a team, the way that they moved things around was absolutely magnificent. What a moment that would have been at the end. It was such a well-worked counter-attack. It went one way then the other.